you're neurodivergent and you have a business or a side hustle, can you tell me about it?
Hi, I am a Black queer autistic astrologer and artist. And yes, those are the primary ways in which I earn a living or survive capitalism. But at a deeper level, I earn my living and survive capitalism by knowing myself and knowing what it is that the world can or wants to receive of me. And it's that second part that I want to talk about. Shout out to Brittany for always asking really good questions and inviting community discussion and inviting community connection in autistic and specifically Black autistic communities. I see you. I see you. And I love that. Change of scenery, the light is better out here. Okay, so what I mean by understanding myself and what people can receive of me is this idea where when you're healing from burnout, there is some system of thought, some philosophy that you end up adhering to, at least in my experience, that helps you make sense of the world. And if you have identified that for yourself, where do you fit in this philosophy or whatever it is that you've created for yourself? For me, I understand the world through a lens of like social justice as well as through an astrological lens. So, in a social justice context, I see myself situated within Black and queer and disabled communities, both in the lived experience, but also like in the history, the culture, and the activism of those communities. And those are things that strengthen me. When I dive deep into the history and lived experience of those communities, I see myself there, and I also understand like a roadmap for being in the world, including potential pitfalls from people outside those communities. So what does it mean to be Black in the world, based on, for example, white supremacist notions of what Blackness is? And also understanding myself through the lens of Blackness from a historical, cultural, social perspective. So in this way, I get to know both who I am within this milieu, this community, and what is expected of me via dominant social paradigms. And then the same thing with knowing myself through this astrological lens. I get to examine my natal chart and understand more about my energy. Am I a day person, a night person? What energy energizes and motivates me? What's in my 12th house and symbolizes the stuff that I might self betray around? What's in my 6th house and what does that mean in terms of what my daily routines and body and self care needs to look like? What's the interaction between my Mars sign and my Sun sign so that I can understand the way that my energy ebbs and flows and how that could contribute or take away from what I want or am motivated to do in this world? I freaking get hype about astrology. It's definitely one of my special interests. And then the 10th house, what is it that people can see and receive and expect of me? My 10th house happens to be in Virgo. And so people want to hear not just information from me, but actual practical, applied, real world solutions or real world based ideas and theories about things. It's very practical placement. Anyway, I don't want to get into like the weeds about the astrology of it all, but what I really want to focus on is how is it that you know yourself? How is it that you make sense of the world around you? And how can you use this way that you think about the world to understand yourself and to understand your place in the world? That is the real important work. And so, yeah, people might name, oh, I specifically do this side hustle or this side hustle, but how do you know if that actually is going to work for you unless you had the time to sit with yourself to acknowledge like who you are, what your energy is like, what you feel like to yourself before you even think about what you can offer the world in terms of the transactions that you need to survive capitalism. That's it. I wanted to talk for less than 5 minutes and we're exactly there. Okay, bye. Love you.